everybody, and welcome to our channel. It is your girl Red Bull here. Today we are going to be going over a case about a man named Alex Mendoza. So we are going to have a family member on here. I'm waiting for her, but we're just gonna start. She'll be on in just a minute. So for 2 years and 3 months, Smiley, his mother, has been missing her son. His wife has not slept in the same bed. His kids haven't played with their dad. His name has been missed. Too many holidays, birthdays, and milestones. Many innocent people are wrongfully convicted every year, and that takes months, even years, to prove their innocence. Disrupting their lives, families of many years in jail for crimes they did not commit. This is one of those crimes. We will tell you guys about this story. And we have, let me fix this. We have Norman Nix on the panel today. Hey, Norman, how are you?
Morning, everybody.
And we have Coffee.
Good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody doing? Hey, White Boy, how are you? So I am going to share my screen. I'm going to kind of go over what is in the news about this case. Oops. All right. Can you guys see that? Okay. All right. So a Utahn accused of fatally shooting a man in 2021 has been found guilty of murder. Salt Lake County Attorney's Office confirms the suspect, Alex Mendoza, aka Baby Alex, 19, has been found guilty on 4 counts in the death of Emilio Salazar, 28, from Salt Lake City. Mendoza has been charged with murder, felony discharge with serious bodily injury, felony discharge with bodily injury, possession of a firearm by a restricted person. The jury deliberated Mendoza's case for 8 hours before reaching the final verdict. This was a tough case, said Sim Gill, Salt Lake County District Attorney. Our office has been working on this case for the better part of a year. Mendoza was arrested on January 10th, 2021 for the murder of Salazar, who was found shot in the head near 1172 West California Avenue in Salt Lake City on January 9th, 2021. Salazar was transported to a local hospital where he later died due to his injuries. At the time, police were investigating whether the shooting was gang-related. I cannot say enough good things about the prosecutors and investigators that handled this case, said Gill. The police officers that worked this case and put it together deserve to be commended as well. Alex Mendoza was found guilty in a court of law. Our communities can sleep easier knowing that he has been held accountable. Mendoza's sentencing hearing is scheduled for October 20th, 2022. Let me stop sharing.
So
right.
what was the sentencing, if you don't mind me asking?
It was...
How many years did he get?
See, that's where it gets complicated because, okay. Like everywhere that we have looked, his mom is going to know more about that. But they're like in no articles. We pulled up his charges and stuff, but it's not on there. They are doing
like an appeal or something?
Yeah, it's what is that called, Garnett? We were talking about yesterday.
Honey,
New trial.
I don't know.
I know you were at work. There's a motion for a new trial. I guess, and the
So an
lawyer.
appeal.
Yeah, so an appeal. There is a lot that has happened in his case that was not shown in the trial during the trial. It is said that it was not the verdict was not based off of uh, like any physical evidence. It's a lot. So I have screenshots of stuff that should have been shown in trial, but it wasn't. And I would like his mom to come on here so she can, 20 years. So he got 20 years.
Right on. Thank you, Sunshine Mendoza.
Um, so Smiley, if you want to get on and kind of go over so I can show the pictures. Let me see. Now, just looking at him, people are gonna judge. People judge by the tattoos. People judge by the gangs. But that doesn't mean you're guilty at all. I feel this case really hits close to home. So many people are wrongly convicted. The statistics are like what 1 out of 20, or let me see. I wrote it down. It's crazy how many people.
Well, we were having a conversation earlier, and our justice system is money based. It really is.
Well, this is the problem when everything is based off of capitalistic government and leadership. So,
Mm.
I mean, if the kings and queens, presidents, governors, whatever you want to call them, as far as like of our states or whatever, in the federal, if they are invested in our laws based on their stock portfolios, that's exactly how the courts and everything else is going to adjust, because unfortunately those judges are mostly elected officials unless somehow they get in through some kind of death or impeachment or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Christina, thank you for coming. Um, oh, she's writing me. Hold on, because I want to go over all this stuff, but I want to wait till she gets here so she can talk about what this is. There's videos. There's a 911 call. There's a video of the car leaving the scene before shots were fired. There's just a lot of stuff that was missed. Gloves went missing. So much into this case. Alex has so much support. You guys, that is awesome.
Now, as far as before everybody comes on, can we just like do a three-way quick panel on preliminary questions that we may have, so that way we can make sure that the mother is real smooth, or the relative is real smooth when they get on?
Yeah.
Coffee, do you have questions or anything, or to be caught up on?
I had trouble playing the 911 call, so that sort of left me. I was playing with that.
Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna show her how to get on because she's having trouble. I will be right back.
Okay.
You're good. Well, we'll talk amongst ourselves if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So is Coffee. So I had the same issue also as far as the 911 call. I couldn't really get it uploaded and hear everything. And the other concern that I had too was, and it was unclear because the messages I'm getting is kind of like a copy of a copy of a copy type thing.
Right.
So I'm getting snippets. Hey, everybody, Alexandria, everybody. I'm trying to read everything as it comes in on the screen. Much love to everybody and showing support. But the other thing that I had an issue with is that getting a copy of everything, I couldn't see and tell whether like the ring camera from across the street showing the shooting, and then there was another clip that I had seen where it actually shows from, at least from what I was shown and told in the narrative, that the this gentleman that they're saying is guilty, apparently his car left before the shooting even took place. So my question is did he leave before the incident took place, and then he came back, and then the police tried to pin him to it, or because I'm kind of confused myself. So hopefully, the relative comes on here and is able to explain and clarify.
Right, because that was sort of my thing. It looked like it was a ring cam, and I really wish I had a seen who got into the car.
Yeah, and unfortunately with ring cams too, it's black and white. Oh, here we go.
All right. Hey, Smiley, how are you?
Hi, it's Sunshine.
Oh, Sunshine. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I had read. Okay. Thank you for coming on. I know this is very hard, and you've been fighting for a long time for your son. Now, we've spoken about evidence and all of the stuff that you have sent me, and that's kind of what we're going over now. I've read a news article on what the media says, happened. So, do you kind of want to give your story, and then we will go through this evidence that you have sent me?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Like I said before, I wasn't there. I can't say, and I've never spoke to my son about anything. I just got like the evidence that's shown to me, and then other people that were there. I know we can start from that day, 11 a.m. Nick Valdez started calling my son. Wasn't aware of any of this though until after everything. From 11 a.m. he started calling him, inviting him over to have drinks and hang out. My son
And
worked.
sorry to interrupt. Nick, just to let everybody know, that is a cousin that he recently met.
And he's also the one that's saying that my son did this murder.
Okay.
So my son works for the union, so he was at work. He got some more texts through the day. And my daughter's party was the next day, so he kind of just said like, oh, we'll hang out tomorrow the next day because everybody was supposed to be coming to that birthday party. Then he got a text, from what I can see, around 12:55. I love you, cuz. Then my son texts back about 1:01, and then Nick sends him a snap of like, just have a few drinks with us. So then by that point, my son, this was 1 a.m. My son said, okay, we'll have a few drinks. We'll take some beer. So his baby, like, he just had a baby 3 months. The baby was 3 months. So the baby was sleeping. They went to go take a 12-pack of beers to have some drinks. And then at 1:30, he was not there yet, a.m. And Nick sends in a text. And I'm not really sure. I can't remember how that text went. Let me look it up real fast, 'cause I got these right.
Okay, because you have all these text messages that were sent, right?
Yes. So the text says, hope you know I got you to the fullest, Cuddy. This was 1:30 a.m. That's their text message they used in the trial. And I don't know what that means, but so then he must have got there within those 5 minutes to that house. And but if we go back to that, Nick and his wife testified my son was not invited, and they don't associate with our family. They're so scared of him and things like that of nature. So we did have pull up other texts that they invited us. They've had their kids spend the night, all these things to show proof that he was invited. So at prelim, they dismissed them saying he wasn't invited and he just showed up. Like, he was invited. Everyone knows that. It's very clear. So he gets there. I don't really know. Like I said, my son doesn't know that Emilio guy that everyone seems to think that my son knew. They testified my son went in there acting crazy with this dude. And I guess from what the stories I've gotten is my son gets in there and this Emilio is like just getting on my son right away. He tells Nick to get the strap. So my son tells his girlfriend and the two cousins, like, let's just leave. And so they're all leaving. And they testified that Nick was pushing Alex out the door to get him out because it was all Alex. He was acting aggressive. But as I showed you in the pictures, those pictures show that those shots were full. And they also testified they all got in that house and they poured him shots and drinks. And this guy just blew up on my son, which shows that table is not tipped. Nothing's over. We all know altercations getting pushed. those shots would have been tipped over. They were full to the top. Beer
Mm.
bottles would have been pushed off that table. They're grown men, you know. So he gets in his car and he's leaving. As he's leaving, shots are fired. So I only can say hypothetically what I think happened is that they were shooting at him as he was driving away. And Nick shot his friend in the back. This dude was shot in the back. So, I mean, like I said, I only got the evidence of what I can see. That's what I see. I see what I feel is Nick was scared and he dragged his friend, which you can show the proof I've showed you. He was dragged. They said he was shot in the head by my son and his gun grazed and it blew off his hair. He would have not had a drag mark on his head, his chest, and his knees. There's just no way a gun graze can hit that many spots and rip your skin off and have scratches on it.
Yes. I am gonna pull up our screen. Do you mind me showing this?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. I'm trying to mute everything else. Shoot. Hold on. So
Well, while you're doing that, Sunshine, I'm Norman Nix from the Norman Nix Show. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you also. So as far as the evidence, and I apologize because I haven't had a chance to see the trial because obviously it wasn't public like that. But as far as like the evidence they showed, did they do any forensic on the gun that they said was your son's that grazed the victim's head?
So they say he was shot with a 40 caliber. There was no 40 caliber. They found nothing at my house. They found the neighbor guy is the uncle of Nick, lives across the street. He says he's seen the wife run to the church, and so they found a gun wrapped up in a white and green shirt there. The DNA on the shirt, and then there's a sock full of bullets, is Nick and his wife, Rondi Valdez's. Nothing of my son's. There's no DNA. Only evidence they had was these two witnesses that lied numerous times, and they got immunity for that. To testify.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that there was no gun found that matched the caliber of the bullet that they say grazed him.
Yes, the only thing they found was 40 calibers under Nick Valdez's bed and a clip to a gun.
And that's how they were trying to match the And the reason why I'm asking is because my question is, how would they know the caliber of gun that grazed his head without getting a bullet that was lodged in, let's say, a house next door and a brick? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So how do they know what caliber was used unless they're trying to like bridge evidence that wasn't at the scene to evidence that was at his house that may have linked them?
Yeah, they didn't do anything. They found one, I guess, in a shed. That was a 40 caliber, and then, like I said, he was shot from behind, and it traveled up out his shoulder. So he was shot one time, one in the back, and it came out the shoulder and then lodged into the head. So he said it traveled up. I don't know how that works. I don't really know about that kind of stuff, but there was one, and then they pulled the bullet out of his head, which was a 40 caliber.
Oh, okay. I understand now. Now I get it. Okay.
So this picture right here, this is where it's showing the drag. I know there's more pictures, but this is where he was dragged, right?
Yes.
And they said that he wasn't dragged.
Yes, they testified. They testified my son shot him numerous times and jumped in his car and left. Nobody ever touched his body, but as you can see, he was dragged to the dark for whatever reason, face down. They ended up, when the cops got there, he was face down with his green bandana tied tight around his eyeballs, which I don't know if he was trying to ask for help, and his friends were just making sure. I mean, they took 8 minutes and 47 seconds to even call 911. And if you listen to the 911 call, they're not even trying to help him. And also, they're not even saying, like, my friend is hurt, get here now. Like, we need your help now. Like, he's going to die if you don't help him. They're just like, somebody got shot. We don't know. What else do they say? They say,
can we play that 911 call?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Get on any of my, if you get on Instagram, it shows that. Let me see if there's a way.
Here, I have it up right here. Let me see if I can. Okay.
They hang up on 911.
Hold on. Let me.
what's going on over there?
Somebody's just been shot.
Okay, let me put you in with the fire department. Don't hang up, okay?
Yeah.
Fire department, the address of the emergency.
Okay, address. 1172 West California Avenue.
Okay, tell me the address one more time for verification, please.
1172 South. 1172 West California Avenue.
Thank you. What's the phone number you're calling from?
801.
Okay.
I really don't know the number that I'm
If you don't know the number, that's fine. Tell me what's going on there.
Somebody's just been shot.
Are you with them?
Right now, yes.
How old are they?
I think he's about 30, 32.
Okay. Is he awake?
He's over there breathing heavy.
Is the attacker still nearby?
I know.
Do you know where they went?
I don't.
Okay. Is there any serious bleeding?
Yes.
Okay. Is he completely alert?
No, he's unconscious. Fuck it. I'm on the floor right now.
He's unconscious now? Okay.
Yes.
Is there more than one wound?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay in line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next. I'm going to tell you how to stop the bleeding. Listen carefully to make sure we do it right. I want you to clean, dry cloth or towel and tell me when you have it.
Okay. I have it.
All right. I want you to place it right on the wound and press down firmly. If there's multiple wounds, I want you to press down on both places.
Okay.
Where are the wounds?
I don't know.
Where is he bleeding from? Is it from his torso? Is it from his arm?
I don't know.
You can't tell where he's bleeding from?
No.
Okay. Are you able to see a place where you can press down to stop the bleeding?
I can't.
Okay. How many gunshots did you hear?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Somebody drove by and did it. I don't know.
Okay. Did you see the suspect at all?
No, I didn't.
How long ago did this happen?
I don't know.
I know this is very stressful. We have help on the way.
Okay,
Any
bye.
information? Sir, stay on the line with...
They didn't even try to help him.
Wait. And that was Nick on the phone call.
No, Nick was in the back, giving the address. That's the cousin Tommy. He's the one next to Nick right there. He has like the green jersey on.
Yeah.
They had him call, from my understanding.
Nobody was really sounding,
Well, he lied. He said he had the stuff on it, and then they said, where is it at? And then he said, I don't know. Well, you just lied to the 911 call saying you had pressure on those things. They could have saved this. They could have saved their friend as they talk on Facebook and everything. That's my brother and all this. Why didn't you try to save your brother? Or why didn't you say, just get over here, or he needs help, or nothing? There was no care in the world for that guy.
No emotion, just, I don't know. Norman, what do you think about this phone call?
I think you have my interest, very much have my interest, and I would love to do an even deeper dive on this, other than just exposing what's going on. I'm curious to know and not to take light away from what's happening, but as far as what we all do collectively in this community, we all have our different expertises, more or less, as far as how we contribute to the pot, as far as helping out with the voice for the voiceless. My channel on my platform, I do background. I'm a former paralegal in the financial industry, so working with attorneys, I've always been able to skip trace and know how to do that legally. It may piss people off, but in the long run, you're going to get educated one way or another on my channel, especially if you're, an abuser of a child or something like that. So, more or less, that's where me and Coffee and Crime came in. So the reason why I'm jumping on right now is not only just to show support, but Coffee also, or Red Bull also reached out to me in regards to this specific story and was like, I need your help. I want you to, what's going on, da, 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 blah, blah, blah. So I am very, very interested in this, especially since it's got her attention, because the last story that we worked on, um, she kind of tested herself as far as the mantle, as far as her homework and everything like that. So now that I'm able to, everything is out in the open, especially with Sunshine coming in and explaining everything about her son and what's going on. I would love to be able to do background checks and expose even further, either on your guys' channel or my channel, or we can do both. That way we can bring even more awareness of the mishaps in court that I'm seeing, as far as my knowledge of what I'm seeing, uh, versus, and again, I'm not an expert, but I have my own network outside of our relationship, so we all can come together and kind of make sure we're not giving out false information when we go on, especially with me, with my background and my reputation. So I try to make sure that when we present this, even deeper down the rabbit hole, that when we start bringing up attorneys' names, and the DA and stuff like that, I'm going to go through and compare this case with other cases, and hopefully other family members come out that are in the area that live in, and I know, and I don't want to get political and racially into this, but this is obviously a brown community versus a black community that I'm used to dealing with on my channel. So as far as the same parallels that we go through, it's over policing is what's the problem. And what I want to do is be able to nitpick each little individual person that's involved, that's on the other side of the aisle, saying their part in it and saying what they saw or whatever. That way we can kind of get a better perspective other than just the thin blue perspective. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I really appreciate all that, Norman. That's why I wanted your
Yes.
help, because you're definitely the man to help us out on this, because this really hits home to me. Like I told Sunshine before, I she's a mom and that's her son, and if she thought he was guilty in any type of way, like she said, she would stand by him where he is. But she knows in her heart, and from what we've seen, which we still need to show some more, they fucked up this case bad.
Okay, I just have to jump in, and I'm not trying to, but in that 911 call, did he say that it was a drive-by?
He did. So the first 10 hours
I missed
of interviewing, being there, it was a drive-by. That the wife said it was a drive-by. He said it was a drive-by. And then this guy, Tommy, was in the house supposedly, and it was a drive-by. The wife left for 52 minutes, came back 52 minutes later after 911 call. So she was gone doing whatever. I'm
Oh,
assuming
there's so
that's
much, guys.
it's a lot to this case that I feel like did not get shown. Everything was a secret on this case. They only gave us 10 people in the courtroom, which was supposed to be public because it was supposed to be one of their big cases. But then they limited down to 10 people on each side, and they had us walk to the bathroom. They had the cops walk us to the bathroom, walked us to the car. Our family was not allowed to stay even in the courthouse. They had to sit outside the courthouse. It was so big, but then they wanted to keep everything so quiet. So our last, we set for motion for a new trial because the uncle did live across the street and the uncle was recorded. and had said he saw Nick drag the body. Well, everybody testified that wasn't a drag mark. Well, now the uncle's saying he did see that as he's seeing the wife run to the court. I mean, to the church. Then we also got jury misconduct because the one of the juries, I don't know which one's which, was 4 would talk to a private investigator, but the other 4 wouldn't. One of them, husband, shows up that day right before verdict with 3 guns, talking that he is scared for his wife because she is on a young gang member's case, and he was just terrified for her, so he was coming to wait for her. Right before verdict, 10 minutes later, the verdict is being called, and that's what happens. Then we do have a recording of one of the verdicts, and I don't know which one because I have no idea who the jury's names are. But one of them says we did not convict Alex on the evidence. We convicted him on the, I guess you would say, I don't know how you would say that, like being scared inside the courtroom. So just the way they treated us, that one of the juries did ask, that we barely had found out, was should we be scared for our life because there were so many cops in the courtroom. They had the gang unit in there, which, let's say from the get, they signed a paper and they agreed that they didn't want no gang stuff because they want to make it sound like these other people weren't gang members. Everybody was a gang member there, the guys, and they want to make it seem like just my son was a gang member. Well, so they said let's not talk about no gang stuff, because if you look at that picture, anybody in their right mind knows, regardless if you're not a gang member, no one young boy with his girlfriend is going to take his girlfriend to a house full of dudes and kill one dude and think he's going to walk out alive. Just not going to happen. I don't care who you are. And that's what they made it look like, is that my son was this gang member. He went in, killed dude, and was aggressive with everybody. And doesn't make no sense, though. Nothing made sense. You're there for 10 minutes and all this pops off. It was a setup.
To me, the calling all day, begging him to come over, that in itself is very weird. I mean, he was playing the game. He was on the PlayStation while Nick was still asking him to come over, right?
Yeah, and seeing that's where I feel I'm so frustrated with, because if I would have known he was texting my son all day, I would have been the one to say, I know that's a red flag. My son's 19. Maybe I don't know what he thought. He thought Nick was his cousin and wanted to hang out. But I know for a fact, if I would have seen that, or his dad, we would have said, no, that's a straight setup. Nobody's going to call you from 11 in the morning to keep asking you to come over, not unless they have something fishy going on. All the way to see the last text to me. And like I said, I'm hypothetically, what I think that text meant is something's about to go down and you're about to get killed or something, and I got you. Because I mean, that last text at 1:30 a.m. makes no sense to me. That my son walks in, this pops off, and he's trying to get out, and his girlfriend out alive.
Also, can you explain? So after this happened, Nick and his wife were brought in, into interrogation. They were there for how many hours, and then what ended up happening?
So, well, hold on. Before we do that, real quick, now that I know there are interrogations involved, can I ask just real quick questions, real quick?
Oh, yeah,
so,
go ahead. No.
Yeah. So I do it. My channel is crimes and interrogation, so I put full interrogation on. Do you have access to those interrogation videos? And if so, can I get those?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just got to talk it over with my lawyer, but I'm pretty sure we'll be okay with that. Where it's kind of like that's why I have not viewed any of the cop videos or all that, because of that second trial we're trying to get. So I don't really know what we can post at this time or have out public.
Just have your attorney get in contact with me.
Okay.
If you can, Red Bull, can you give her my direct number after we're done with everything, so we don't have it online?
I will. And I have
and Sunshine, just have your attorney contact me and let me know if we can run with this and how far we can dig. Because I have no problem, redacting whatever needs to be redacted or blurring out whatever needs to be blurred. Because I don't want to interfere with anything. If your son's doing an appeal, I don't want to interfere with that. But we do want to make sure that, as far as the jury pool, if there is a jury that's going to make a decision, and this is a narrative that the police are putting out there, and because the news is obviously probably going to get a hold of this, and they're only going to have the spin of what sour soil has been laid ahead of time. So by
100%.
by us putting this out there in a different light and exposing this as far as like, hey, regardless of what his affiliation is or what his tattoos look like or what his past was, as far as due process, this crime does not fit the punishment. So you can't look at this situation and say this because you gave immunity first off to somebody who you didn't even know was guilty or not. But without that being said, I'm just getting ahead of myself. I'm just excited because I would love to get a hold of those interrogations
And that's what we go back to, like you said, the
I'm
charges.
excited
So
you're
they
excited.
they couldn't have give him a murder charge from the start, and that's why my understanding is why they lost those gloves and those shorts, because she has the picture. They said my son shot him in the hands too, but if you look at that hand shot marks, there's no way that's a 40 caliber. My understanding, what, like I said, they've had a couple people look at him. They said it was a three. He got caught, or they got caught with the 380 that they do know they have, and they're assuming like maybe he went to shoot at my son and he shot himself in the hand, because as you can see his hand, but you can see there's foul play no matter how you look at it. He's the babysitter testifies, when they know for sure my son's on the way, this dude right here, he changes into shorts and just gloves. I mean, who does that? I mean, you don't have to be a gang member to know that either. You know what's about to go down. You're wearing just gloves, no shirt, just shorts. And it's cold in January in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's not hot.
And this picture right here is where Nick's gloves are. You can see them in the pocket, you guys.
Were never found.
Were never found. And then let me show you the other picture.
So that's the gun they found there, and the gun was shot, and it was you can see it was shot on that and was pinged back. And then that's his. I just put up a little thing what a 40 caliber would look like and what this 380 would look like if you were shot in the hand. That's his hand. That's his hand. How it was shot. So as you can see, I mean, that don't look like no 40 caliber in the hand. They're saying he tried to cock the gun back and maybe it just went off too fast and shot himself in the hand, because it doesn't make no sense. And another thing is, you're not going to keep your hand up if someone shot you in the hand. And you could see it was like the way it his. I mean, I don't really know about all that, but from what I've just been hearing, it just don't look right, which means he would have shot a gun. So, and at the end of the day, they could have never got my son for murder one, because they were trying to kill my son. So it's just all messed up. They lost everything that had anything to do to help him in his case. I mean, they knew from the start. They said Delta negative or Delta -2, which my understanding means he was dead already when they got there. And so they knew that it was a homicide. They should have kept those gloves and those shorts, but everything they lost to help out my son, to show he was innocent. I mean, it was, his phone was there. There's his gun, right? The gun they found. That's the 40 calibers they found under Nick's bed. That's the gun they wrapped in the t-shirt that had Nick and Rondi Valdez's DNA all over it, thrown in the bushes or sat in the bushes. And then I don't know what they were trying to do with the dude's phone, but see on where it says phone, that they wrapped his phone in a t-shirt, and I don't know whose t-shirt that is either.
That's
So,
Emilio's
that's Emilio's phone.
Okay.
Yes.
So as far as your son, did they find any weapons or anything on him?
Nope.
Or connect him DNA wise to anything?
Nope.
No blood,
Nothing.
no gun. He didn't have gunshot residue on him or anything?
Nothing.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The only evidence they have is Nick and Rondi Valdez's testimony that they lied numerous times. Like I said, 10 hours they kept them trying to figure out. As they were there, they walk up and even ask Emilio's name, and they're telling the cops they don't even know Emilio's name. As like I told you, the wife was gone 52 minutes. Nick says his wife left an hour before this even happened. Well, he didn't get to discuss that apparently with his wife, because it's on video. His wife comes back 52 minutes saying she heard the first gunshot. Somebody called Emilio's name, either Emilio or Nick's name, Emilio or Tommy, saying, just screaming Nick's name. She runs off to the church and just leaves because she's so scared. So then the cops are talking, and they don't mute it, but they're talking about it, and they're like, wait, for some reason Nick don't want to put his wife at the scene. Well, yeah, because then they'll see they all have something to do with it. So they do that. They take him up. Nick doesn't want to go, but finally they say they can't go together, right? We all know that when you're in a crime scene or anything, people cannot drive up together to the police station. They let Nick and Rondi drive together to the police station, and then they separate them. 10 hours later, they can't get nothing out of them. They finally tell him, like, look, we know you're lying. Your friends passed away. We know everything you're saying. It doesn't add up right. The shell casings, the body, the timings, everything's a lie, and they know it. And they start blaming them. They're like, we know you did it. We know you had something to do with it. Well, they put them in the room together. Then that's when Nick says my son's name. And they're released in 10 minutes from them giving my son's name, which is supposed to be, they're supposed to pick up that person, investigate everything. But nope, they let Nick and Rondi go home. So by then it was like early morning. Well, the neighbor across the street sees Rondi run or go to the church where, because they never told her they found that gun in the bushes. She takes her and her 2 kids that are like, they're minors, they're all little kids, to go look for this gun. She testifies in court that she did because she needed it, so to speak. None of these guys are convicted felons, so why hide guns? You didn't do nothing wrong. Alex was the one that did everything. Why hide everything? Why alter the scene? All this is pointing to them, and the cops still, it's Alex, it's Alex. Well, everything points to Nick and Rondi, and eventually it's all going to come to light.
Now, Norman, I don't know, did you look at the car video of them driving off?
I did. That's what we were talking about earlier when you were trying to get Sunshine on. Me and Coffee were discussing that we saw the video, but it's hard to tell who got in the car. So that might, unless it's able to, well, obviously it should be timestamped, and I can't remember if it was timestamped. But if he's giving testimony, or if he can show on his ring cam, like on the, how you can go on the back end of a ring cam or a video or whatever, if he can show the timestamp showing when he left or whatever, that would justify the time and date at least, backing up him.
So we could go back to that one. So that was a neighbor from kitty corner from that house. They caught my son's car leaving. So the whole point of that video from the get was to show my son was there. That was his car at 147 leaving. As he did call me at 147 to tell me they were acting weird and he was just going to leave. So I call him back at 149, which they ping him at a different area, which that's their point was, look, he was there at 147. Well, my lawyer went over the video and he zoomed in to the right. And as you can see, the shots are being fired as my son left. Like he was leaving, they were shooting. So we all know pretty much they were shooting at him. And that's where we get from, there's his car, he's leaving. They all agreed to it. The pings were there, the phone calls were there. But then as soon as my lawyer pointed that out at the end, then they said, oh, well, we don't know for sure it's his car.
Do you want me to play this video real quick, you guys?
Yeah, real quick. Did they find if they were shooting at Alex's car, baby Alex? That's your son, right? Is Alex?
Yes.
Okay. If they were shooting at Alex, as far as their directed angle, did they find any bullets like lodged in the neighbors' houses or anybody across the street?
They didn't. So what's weird is somebody testified that they seen the wife picking up stuff. So we're not really sure. Like I said, they had 9 minutes to do whatever they wanted to do, because in 1 minute it takes forever, but 9 minutes, I'm sure they picked up whatever they had to pick up. There was nothing there but 3 shell casings, which we know there was more than that because they're saying he was shot 3 times in the hand, and there was 1 in the trash can, 1 in the shed. So it's just, it was altered. The whole thing was altered. They picked and hid all kind of things. And I don't even know where that Rondi girl hid everything, because she took everything and was wrong with it.
I just want to clarify. You said that they found shell casings in the garbage?
No, there was a bullet in the garbage.
And the shell casings were under Nick's bed.
And the 40 caliber casings are bullets, and the clip to a 40 caliber was underneath the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But on the scene, sorry to interrupt, ladies. On the scene, did they find shell casings in the yard, driveway, in the street, etc.? No,
they found only 3 on the grass. So that's why they sold them that nothing made sense, because they said it was a drive-by, and these, like, all these shell casings made no sense.
So the only window of opportunity, if Alex did this at all, would be when he was either pushed or walked himself out of the front door with no struggle, according to the beer cans and the beer bottles standing straight up out of the house, and he would have had a shot before he got into the car and left in order for those shell casings to be in the yard. Or there would be no shell casings and he shot from inside the car and the shell casings went back inside the vehicle, leaving no evidence on the scene.
Yes.
So that makes no sense that they would be in the yard. Now, as far as like playing devil's advocate, as far as spinning off a narrative, or because you have to be convicted beyond a reasonable doubt, you know. So if there is
100%.
another avenue that's not being presented, why did you give these two boys immunity? From my understanding, now is Nick walking around right now?
He is. Oh, Nick Valdez and Rondi Valdez both got immunity because they were fingerprints and stuff. Their DNA was found on the shirt to the gun and the sock. But what was icing on the cake is in October, we said we're going to trial on this. October 31st, Nick and his wife start threatening the other two witnesses. Well, there's two other witnesses that were there. And they start messaging them on Messenger saying, oh, you called my kid names, and just trying to pick a fight with them. Well, these other two witnesses never replied back to them. 12 o'clock hits, they're driving home and they keep calling them. Well, they get right before they get in their house, shots are fired at their house, October 31st, 2021. And they see Nick's face shooting at them. They call the cops. The cops did not do nothing. They didn't help them or anything. They finally, as the issue got pushed through my son's court, they take it into Utah County, which it happened in Salt Lake County. So then hold
on. So from what, and sorry to interrupt, I apologize through and through. Before I get further down this rabbit hole, I do a lot of investigations and a lot of videos. Is Nick a fucking snitch or an informant for Utah?
He has to be. He was in a murder, and his brother is doing manslaughter for him right now. He was the main suspect to another killing in 2000, I think it's 13. And he got in a fight inside, gets beat up by the dude, and they say he goes out. They all go outside, and this dude right here, David, he is shot in the head.
Okay, hold on. This other trial that he's connected to, allegedly being a snitch or whatever, is it parallel to what happened with your son?
Exactly.
So fight happened in the house. Found, hold on. Before I get ahead of myself, I'm about to get excited and I gotta go because I gotta start my own show on my channel. But before I go, I'm gonna leave with this. Sunshine, I'm behind you 100%. I've read through the articles that Red Bull has given me, and from my small investigation and now being able to talk to you and kind of fill in the holes or whatever, with Red Bull and coffee, I would love to bring you on to my platform. We can actually go on a little bit later today or whatever, because this stuff needs to be exposed. But what I would like to do is get some more information. That way I can present it, you know what I mean, on not just on the live, but present it afterwards. That way I can like do some overlays and put in the videos proper. That way I can piece down a timeline, and we can break down exactly what's going on, plus my investigation into the DA, and then I can get other members of my team involved that are not in my state. So that way it's not really connected to you and your attorney as far as shitting what you say.
That's what I told her last night.
And not only that, it will bring other eyes in, and we can also find out more information about Nick through other resources that I have, because I am just like, if this is what I think it is, this is not only injustice, but this doesn't do justice for anybody all the way around. All this does is give the win to the state, showing that they won't take an L for any reason, whether justice is involved or not.
100%.
That's what this boils down to. So it doesn't matter if you're black, white, poor, whatever. if the police department has a snitch or somebody that they're invested in, like obviously they're invested in this guy, and this other $1 million case, the $100,000 case or whatever in the background is on the line based on this witness, snitch, whatever they have planted, and he fucks up and commits a crime, they're going to help him cover up that crime so they don't have to take the L in the parallel crime that they're invested in. So it's basically like some old crazy, and I know this sounds Hollywood, but it's like some Training Day shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
So,
I can't figure it out.
But with that being said, I appreciate you guys bringing me on the platform, but I do gotta go because I got my responsibilities.
Okay.
Coffee and Red Bull. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in another session.
Love you.
Norm. See you in another one.
Thank you.
I will be back.
Appreciate
I'll be
you.
over there in a minute. Please, everybody, subscribe to the Norman Nick Show. We have it in the comment section. I do still want to show you guys the videos. This is only like a part 1, but like I told you now, Norman, I knew that once he talked to you, it would be like, you know, he would be more into this. So you're going to have a lot of people behind you. We're going to do a lot of things. So we'll definitely be in touch. And this is only part 1. Like we'll keep going and going. I do want to show everybody in this video before we do get off. I want to show these videos because they're very important. So let me just pull them up. Hold on. Coffee, you have anything to say?
I do not. I am getting ready to run as well. You go ahead and show your videos. And I will talk to you here in a few minutes.
Okay, I love you. Are
Thank
you going
you.
to Norman's?
Yes.
All right, I love you.
Love you.
All right. So we showed that. I want to just want to play this as well.
You are so funny. Do I understand you home?
And that's just showing his car leaving. The other one I sent you, it kind of zooms it in so you can see where the shots were fired at.
That's this.
Because they were, because they lived right there, kitty corner, like across the street. So you'd only be able to see that if it's like up close type.
Okay. But yeah.
But if you go to the Instagram, you'll be able to see it a lot better.
Yeah, I'm gonna link your Instagram at the bottom when we do get off of here. I definitely feel in my heart that your son is definitely innocent. It's not fair for any of you guys to be in there, especially his daughter. He's missing out on so much because these people just put this all on him and just swept it under the rug and thought that people, wouldn't find out about it. But
Well, I think they thought we wasn't going to give up, but I'm never going to give up. No matter what, I will keep fighting through everything, and I'll keep getting my lawyers to do whatever I need to do. But like I said, we're waiting to see if she's going to approve the second trial, if she does give us that new trial. And if she doesn't, then we're still going to go with an appeal. There's a lot of shady stuff that happened in this case that could help us. So, and then more people that get the word out there to know my son, just free my son. He's innocent,
it definitely, and you guys, I've seen so much support in here already for him and his family. So thank you guys for supporting them.
Thank you for having us. No
problem. And I guess we're going to do a part 2. We'll probably go on Norman's channel. Like this is like our first, we usually have like a whole different thing going on. But when I saw your, this case, Alex's case, I was like, no, I have to do something. So, but Norman, he's kind of going to direct everything because this is his sort of thing. So we'll do a lot of stuff on his show.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No, just everybody. We want to thank everybody, me and my son and my family, for supporting us. Like there's a lot of people that support us, and we appreciate that. Uh, and hopefully soon he'll be free, be home,
Girl,
and be where he belongs.
he's gonna be, and we are gonna put as much pressure as we can. The governor, the DA, everybody's gonna hear it.
I think Nick and Rondi should be accountable for what they did, and his wife shouldn't be off either because she hid stuff and she did things too. They could have all just been easily told the truth, and this would all been over with. But see, in this case, I'm not giving up. In his first case he was in, his family gave up, and the brother's doing the time. Well, this case, I ain't stopping.
Yeah, that also right there. This is the second or third time he's been involved in something like this. He just keeps getting away, and
Exactly.
it's when is it going to happen again? When is someone else going to lose their life to this?
And why is he even doing a drive-by on the other witnesses? If he knows my son did it, why try to kill the other witnesses? I mean, that makes no sense.
Exactly. Like,
So, guilty right there.
I just this whole thing blows my mind. I do have a lot of stuff to still do, like write out. I told you after this, I'm writing some emails and putting some stuff together after we go over there. But I'm glad that you came on, told your story. As a mother, like my heart is breaking for you. My
Thank you.
sons are all my kids are my world. But we have that, like my youngest son is like, that's my baby. And I can't imagine.
Oh, that's what all my kids say. I got 7 kids, but they say, "Baby Alex is your baby." He said, "You bet you know he's my baby, and I'll fight till my last breath for that kid."
Yes, and I can tell. And you are a strong woman, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that you have all this support. You're not alone. So, and we won't give up until something happens.
I appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you so much for coming on. You guys, please go. Oh, do
See
you
you
want
soon.
to say your the Instagram isn't it Alex?
Justice for Alex Mendoza Jr.
Okay. So I'm gonna link them, but please go follow on Instagram, Justice for Alex Mendoza Jr. And then on TikTok it is the Mendoza family.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for coming on, and I will speak to you in a little bit.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming. Please like this video. We're going to go over to the Norman Nick Show. Amazing creator. Please go subscribe. Hit the like button over there. Share this video everywhere. You don't know whose hands it will get in. And we will not stop. Alex needs all of y'all support too. So I'll come on here with updates, asking people, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Please help as well. It takes all of us. So thank you for coming. I will see y'all next time.